So we'll talk about snacks. So I have a couple of ideas for snacks here. Which one looks healthy to you? Compared to all of them, yes, popcorn is the healthiest out here. So I've heard some of you give ideas for snacks, but tell me, what are your typical snacks? What do you usually snack on, and what do you think a snack should be? So I have answers: nuts, dried fruit, almonds, apple and peanut butter, granola bar, homemade muffin with fruit, Greek yogurt. Okay, these are amazing. So you guys are on track, which is great. Okay, so the whole idea really is you don't want to keep snacking throughout the day. It's not going to help. That does the opposite effect where you're just piling up on calories because your body's just doesn't know what to do with them. So first of all, it's very important that if you're stocking up on good food, then you will tend to go for good food. So the first part, the real important part, is preparing and planning and making sure you have healthy foods and cut up fruits and vegetables ready for you to snack on. Snacks are an excellent opportunity to get some fiber in, some antioxidants, omega-3s. These are all healthy foods, sometimes dairy products as well. So touch a little bit of food labels. Someone said granola bars. Now, if you look at your granola bar, if you've done that in the last week when you're looking at added sugar, granola bars are usually very high in sugar or fat, either one of them. So I usually don't suggest granola bar to be your go-to snack. It could be a backup snack, as in, if you have nothing else left at home, go for a granola bar. So if you're looking at the label, this is what we talked about last time, that you want the fats and the saturated and trans fats to be less than 5. And for granola bars, you want to look for fiber, and they should be close to 15% or more. So I'm going to have you do this little comparison. I know it's a little small, but if you look at these two granola bars, I want you to compare and tell me which one looks healthier to you from the two. The fiber one versus the Nature Valley. Generally what happens, especially with granola bars, is if they're reducing sugar, they'll add fat, right? Just to state for the flavor. Did you look at the fat there? Yeah, it's quite a hard one to get. That's sort of why it's very tricky with granola bars. Like, I've done a lot of my shopping around and I haven't been able to find the best one yet, which meets all the criteria. But if I had to choose, right, like if I had to choose between the two, I would probably go with the fiber one over the Nature Valley. Obviously, it's your take on this, but two reasons why I wouldn't choose Nature Valley over this if I had the option is because, first of all, the saturated fats. This is half the saturated fat than of this. Sugar is a bit more. This is 6, and yes, this is 10. It's 4 grams more, but it still has a lot more fiber. So this one is a tricky question. Like, this is really what you want to go with if you're focusing on reducing sugar or not, but still in most cases I would rather go with the fiber one over the Nature Valley. And I gave you my perspective on this. Now what do you guys think?
Can I add one thing, Shaistha? The fat is one of the things, but if you even look at the carbohydrate and the fiber, so we usually, and Shaistha will mention in few next series, you usually want to take fiber because if you can actually minus the fiber from the carb in order to get net carb. So if you minus 29 by 9, you're still better off because that will be your total carb, net carb. While there in the Nature Valley, the fibers are less.
Yes. So everything has to be considered, of course, added sugar and everything else. But yes, I would worry about the fat as much as I would worry about the added sugar. And in my understanding, some of this is natural sugars too. So I wouldn't, if this was the comparison between the two, since this is not double the sugar, so that would be my take on this. Okay, so I'm gonna try to recap, but I just wanted to say that a lot of you gave me really good examples of snacks. A perfect snack, if you had the calories, then the number is 200. But if you don't want to stick to calories, generally a perfect snack should have either one or all of these foods. So a fruit, a dairy, and a nut. So the nuts provide the omega-3s and all the extra nutrients that you don't typically probably get from otherwise, unless you're eating fish. And then dairy products, a lot of people don't get enough of just by eating their regular diet. So it is a really good opportunity to have dairy in the diet, or milk replacements. It doesn't have to always be milk products, but milk or alternatives. And that gives the natural protein. Like I said, natural protein is more than enough. And then a fruit, because a lot of people don't get enough fruit. So if you were having just one or two snacks, these combinations would be a pretty good snack. I usually give this to all my patients. You want to pick one from each category and make it a snack. And if you did that, then you are within the calorie range and you are getting enough protein and enough fiber. So I want you to pick one from each of these columns and call it a snack. And that would be a pretty good snack to have like 2 to 3 hours after your meal. That will hold you off till the next meal. So these are options for you if you're trying to figure out what can be a good snack. I'm going to have my tiny or portioned plate going forward. I'll feel hungry in a few hours. This is sort of a smaller snack that will hold you off and will give you all the nutrients that your body needs. Another option for anyone who wants a vegetable snack, or if you want your second snack and you're trying to think of options, then I usually say, if you're going to go for a second snack, go for a vegetable combination. Do vegetables and nuts if you haven't had nuts in the morning, for example. Or the hummus and the celery and carrots that some of you mentioned is amazing. Even edamame, soybeans, they're very easy to find. Yeah. So these are basically examples, and that's it.